Good morning. I seem to be getting a lot of questions on the toString method and also how to make an array of objects and things of that nature. So I wanted to give you an example, and I'm happy to share this code with you and this video today. So first of all, I want to show you a class I made that represents a book object. So in my book object, I'm going to fix this. I have declared some instance data that should be private that represents the book's number of pages and the book's title. So pages is an int and title is a string. Then I have created a constructor for book, public book. I'm going to send it an integer x representing the number of pages and a string t representing the title. And inside the constructor, you can see that I populate my instance variable. The number of pages, I populate it with X, and the title, I populate it with T. This constructor I will use in my driver program, which I'll show you in a minute. So for every book object I create, I have to send it an integer, comma, and then a string. In here, I have a method called page message that just prints out the number of pages. But more importantly, what I really am making this video about is your toString method. So this toString method right here in Java is a special method with a special method header. The method header for the toString has to be this, and it has to be exact. It has to say public string toString and a set of parentheses. Don't put anything inside of these parentheses. So inside this method, you put however you want Java to print information about your object. Typically, it is info related to the instance data, and then you can use printf formatting as well if you want to. I've seen some people do that. So in my toString method, all I'm telling you is that I'm returning, and notice what I'm doing here. I'm concatenating together a big string. I'm telling Java that I have to return a string, so I have to do that. I can't return anything else. So I'm concatenating a string title with the actual title of the book. Title is the name of the instance data, so I can just refer to it as title. Concatenated with space number of pages. Concatenated with, again, the actual number of pages. So that's how you construct a very simple toString method. Notice, like, once again, I am not doing any formatting here. I just want you to understand the concept. Now, in my book driver, I'm going to talk about a few different things here. I'm going to cover instantiating objects, populating an array, printing an array, and referring to the toString method. So in my book driver program, so notice that's my main method. This is the one I'm going to run. I first have to instantiate or create 5 book objects. So I've given them all different names, and remember that I told Java that when I create a book object, I'm going to send in an integer followed by a string separated by a comma. So if you study my book driver, you'll see that that's what I did. I sent an integer, comma, the string representing the name of the book. Don't forget, if you tell Java you're going to send a string, you have to put whatever text you're using between quotation marks. Then I could have done this with 5 lines of code, or I could have created I can create and instantiate an array of book objects by using an initializer list. I could have also just created the books right in here if I wanted to, but I wanted to be able to refer to them by name. So that's why I did all this work here. So this line right here instantiates an array of book objects. And I'm putting in these 5 books into that array. Now, in our case, I have a toString method coded in my class. And if I want to print any of these book objects, all I have to do is refer to the name of the book object. So to print the first and second book, I just say system out print line first, system out print line second. So if I run this program, you're going to see that that in fact happened. But notice what it did. It didn't just print first or second. What Java does is when you print referring to the name of an object you created, what it does is it automatically goes to the class of that object. So in our case, book, it looks for a method header called toString with this exact method header, and whatever you've coded inside of here is what it's going to do. So that's why it printed title : the appropriate name of the book that we've stored in the instance data title, concatenated with the number of pages, concatenated with the number of pages that we specified for that specific book. So notice how I print. System out print line, the name of the first book, the name of the second book. I'm also giving you an example of how to print the whole book array using a loop. So I made a loop. Notice that the name of my array is books, and I can use the length constant in my condition of my for loop. Again, another reminder, our for loop has 3 components if it's the traditional for loop. And if I want to print every book one at a time on a separate line, all I do is tell you the name of the array, books, a set of square brackets, and then I. So it's going to go through this loop and print the book at position 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now if I expose, or if I show you the whole code, you can see the output from the code. I'll just clear this out and rerun it. Notice that, just so we're clear, I first printed the first book, the second book, a blank line, and then I reprinted all the books. So when I run this program, that's what you see. So I'm hoping that's helpful, and I hope that takes care of all of your questions. Let me know if you have any others. Thank you.